FeldCare Connects Podcast. I am the presenter, Neil Haley, the media giant. And, I am so excited to talk to someone who's partnered with FeldCare. Her name is Andrea Lopasso, and she's going to talk. She is a physical therapist, and she's going to talk about how she partners with FeldCare. Andrea, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's kind of really just delve into what a physical therapist does. I think it's so important to kind of highlight those things because a lot of people hear the word physical therapist and what do you do?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Some people think of massage when they when you say physical therapy. So physical therapists, they're movement specialists. So they're there to help with improving your movement, getting rid of chronic pain, post-op, and just if you are an athlete, make your career better.
I think that's fantastic. And you think about specifically enough, the physical therapists are in so many different areas that you can
That's
cover. And I talked about in the green room early intervention, but it goes all the way in so many
yeah,
ways. And it
yeah,
goes in the varied ways, right? Of physical
yeah.
therapy, certain different types of extremes, right?
That's correct. You go from pediatric to geriatric. You go from a healthy person to a post-op, neurological. You can have pelvic health. You can do whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start your own home health therapy business, and how did FeldCare and Clinique Connects help you take the leap?
Uh, Honestly, one of the things, of course, is pay, right? So, doing home health, physical therapy allows for uh, increase in salary, which I guess we all look for. Secondly, you don't have a boss, so you are your own boss. So it allows you more freedom. Of course, there are downsides of it, but Felt Care was very instrumental for me to be able to be successful because they actually provide me 80 to 90% of the patients I see. And clearly that's necessary for me to pay my bills.
Oh, I absolutely. I mean, I think that's the real cool thing about it is that you can see more patients. And we're going to talk more about those things and pay. And I think that's so important when you're choosing a job or choosing to be an entrepreneur, which you became once you had your own home health therapy business, is you're an entrepreneur now. Now you can choose how many hours you work, how much money you make, and things like that. Right.
That's right. That's right. That's right. There are, like I said, there are downsides. Of course, you don't have paid time off, but you can plan accordingly, right? Because now you have all the time that you want, if you want to work 5 hours one day, or if you want to work 8 hours one day. So you have the freedom to do, and if you want to take time off, you plan accordingly. And because of the difference in pay, you were able to do that.
Yeah. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced when transitioning from being an employee to running your own business, and how did you overcome them?
Um, in the very beginning, because you need to build a clientele. So it takes a month-ish or so for you to be able to have a full load. So that will impact your income, of course. The second part was learning how to manage your own schedule, because you have to do that on your own. So learning how do I leave enough time on my schedule to see the patient and then drive to the next patient. Um, and getting comfortable for me was a challenge. I don't know if it's going to be for everyone, but for me was a challenge. Getting comfortable with calling patients, explaining who you are, and scheduling. Granted that these are for home health, they're mainly older people. So they have hearing difficulties, and then they don't understand what really, like, wait, but I saw a nurse, but you want to come in. So you need to be very careful explaining those things. But I think those were the challenges in the beginning.
I remember the challenges when I would do tutoring one-on-one and go from one house to the next, and also when I was in early intervention. You want to keep chatting with that last patient or client, you're like, oops, I'm late.
Yeah. Yeah. The way I overcame it is that we have to stay with the patients for 45 minutes. So the way I created my schedule is that I allot 1 hour for the patient and I leave 15-minute travel time. So this way, if I'm running a little late, I have rooms. I hate being late. That's just my personality. I hate being late for things. So that's how I made it work. But yes, sometimes you want to just, or you need to stay longer with that patient. So
Absolutely.
creating that extra time.
What are some key benefits of using FeldCare and Clinique Connects to support your business operations?
One of the reasons I love FeldCare is because they are first very responsive. So you reach out to them, they right away get back to you. Not all companies do that. They are very polite and understanding. So if I have an issue, I can just reach out to them and I can be fully honest. Hey, this is, if I mess up on something, hey, I mess up on this. How can we get this solved? How can we get this resolved? And they are very proactive and they're just there for you for whatever you need.
Can you share a specific success story or milestone that made you feel confident in your decision to become an entrepreneurial clinician?
If I can share a milestone, I think for me really was realizing that being my own boss is much better than having one. So once I started in that journey and I'm like, oh wait, I can work whatever schedule I want. Once I got that realization, that was, oh, perfect. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, you can decide to get up at noon one day and then next day get up at 6 a.m. and go to a client at 7. That's the nice
Yeah,
flexibility. Then, oh my gosh, I always have to hit that morning drive or wherever. You can schedule when you want.
that's
And
right.
when before you were doing this, you had to go and maybe report to work, right? And it was just
Correct.
not as flexible.
Yeah, I had a 410, so work 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, and had 3 days off, right? So that's how I used to do it before. Um, but yeah, you have to see way more patients and you don't make the same amount of money. Because when you are working at a clinic, you have to see at least on the good clinics, 2 patients an hour. Yes. Whereas with home health, if I see 6 patients, that's about 8-hour workday instead of 18 a day. So it's a lot less stress to
Mhm.
do it home health.
What advice would you give to other therapists who are considering starting their own home health therapy business, but are unsure of where to begin?
Uh, First thing is find a company that will provide you training. I cannot stress that enough because some companies will say they will hire you because it's very easy to be hired as a physical therapist nowadays, thank God. But find a company that will provide you training. It's not because you were a physical therapist that the transition is easy. You need to learn all the details. There are a lot of little details that you need to learn. Find a company that has enough staff and is not a one person does all because it gets very confusing and then you don't get the feedback you want. And try to navigate their EMR, the electronic medical record system, because some companies, their EMR is so confusing and hard to just deal with. So those are the things that I would definitely, and how many patients they can provide you for sure. Like check how, is it a small company or a big company they can, so depending on what you're looking for, part-time or full-time.
And what FeldCare is able to do is provide you a lot of patience, then it sounds like.
Right. To do a full-time home health career. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And it's your own business. You're
Right.
not working for somebody. That's got to feel great.
Oh, that is fantastic. That's the best part of it. Yeah.
All right. Well, people definitely We appreciate this time, and people need to go to FeldCareConnects.com if you would like to partner with FeldCare and you're a therapist, and look at this, share this video with other therapists who are looking for an opportunity to become an entrepreneur, clinician. Appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show on the FeldCare Connects podcast, guys. Take care.